Hello and greetings. Let's just see if we're live. Not sure. And we have had some issues again this morning. I'm using a beta version of Zoom and it just didn't work. So I'm just asking out in the network, if you can see me and hear me, please let me know, because that would be awesome. Hi Gary. Yeah, good morning. Hi John. Good morning. So we've got Facebook and LinkedIn live, which is good because there was an issue yesterday and LinkedIn didn't publish the live stream. They've changed all the rules. And this is what happens when you don't stay up to date on social media news. So I'm going to switch very quickly to our social media monitoring dashboard, and we're going to start following the news because I'm behind on everything and I need to get back up to date on it all. Let's go. Should we have picture in a picture? Okay, you can see me in the corner so that you know it's me. I think that needs to be a little larger for you guys to see it, especially if you're watching on a phone or something. So I've gone into the Google testing blog in my dashboard and they have something called testing on the toilet. By the way, am I in sync? I hope so. I hope I'm not scrolling one thing and my mouth is moving on a different one and then the audio's somewhere else. Who knows? The beauty of live. So we've got here testing on the toilet. I'm sorry, I really need to know what that is. It's just some sort of coding for introducing testing on the toilet. We want to know this, right? Like I'm not the only one who wants to know what Google's testing on the toilet is. I loved Eat Your Own Dog Food. They come up with the most bizarre names. And Eat Your Own Dog Food means you have to test what you're going to make other people consume media-wise, code-wise, platform-wise. A small band of volunteers, the Google testing grouplet. So that's a good example actually of influencer groups, because I work with agencies in creating influencer groups, and we actually call them PR teams because they're under the PR function, but they're influencers that help to co-create campaigns, co-create products, co-create launches, co-create events. So Google Testing Grouplet is just another example of companies working with a core group, an engaged group. All right. It's not that interesting. I just like the name. What else do we have here? Thanks, John. No lag. Fantastic. So let me go to Buffer. I don't use Buffer very much anymore. It'd be interesting to see how they're going as a company. They've got a shareholder update. Let's have a look at that one. It's interesting to me to see how social media platforms are doing during the coronavirus, during COVID-19. And there's a massive increase in the amount of consumption of social media during this period, but there's been a decrease in ads, content creation, campaigns, and that sort of thing. So when we look at a tool like Hootsuite or Buffer or TweetDeck or something like that, it sits in that middle of, are they going to be doing really well because there's so many people on social, or are they doing poorly because companies are not leveraging the massive increase of people on social. I think TikTok's the largest increase. It's had a 56% increase or growth since March. Somebody go check that and let me know. I'm going to give you homework. So, total net income, 832,000. Really? For a quarter? For one of the largest social media platform dashboards? Revenue per employee. So the payment relief, they've helped 1,200 customers and extended a total of 191,000 in payment relief. I noticed the other day, I was on Canva. I don't use Canva anymore. I was a paid pro member for years. And then they offered an option to extend your pro membership for 90, I think it was 90 days. So that I think you could extend it till the end of October. Or for me, it was like 3 months. And it's to help people during coronavirus, which I always think is a nice thing to think about what to do. I mean, the opposite of that are the companies that put up their prices, and I've had 2 companies that have put up their prices significantly. Actually, one of them is local government. And I think that that's an issue to do that during COVID-19. You've still got audio noises, but not as bad as yesterday. I have no idea what that audio noise is. I'm wondering if it's a cable somewhere in the mix. But I listened yesterday and I could hear the noise as well. We need to get that fixed. I have a complicated setup. I have the mic goes into a preamp. The preamp goes into a vision switcher. The vision switcher goes into OBS. OBS goes into Restream. Restream goes into, I don't know. Please don't ask me. I just press buttons and hope it all works. And sometimes it does and rarely it doesn't. Okay, that's kind of interesting. That's something I'm going to look through. One of the things to do if you're a social media manager is definitely keep an eye on the quarterly releases from the major social media platform tools like Buffer app and Hootsuite and TweetDeck or whatever, because they have to make announcements to the market, and so we get to see how things are changing then as well. Sounds way too complicated. Yes. John, sounds a bit too complicated. Yes, both of you. It's supposed to give me better sound, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think it does. I've had people say to me that my $19 headset with a mic on it sounds better than this setup. So I am going to find a way of simplifying that or fixing it. I do want a nice warm sound. I don't like that echoey sound, so I'm trading things off at the moment. One thing that I do is I bring Facebook pages into my monitoring dashboard so that I don't have to lost me again. So that I don't have to bookmark all the Facebook pages or use a Facebook newsfeed, a specialist newsfeed within Facebook. So let's see what Facebook themselves are announcing. Okay. Making it easier to shop and sell on our apps. So Facebook and Instagram have had shops for a while and they're changing their shops around. I think this month they did another update to the Instagram shop. I mentioned that yesterday. We still don't have, is it PayPal in Australia? Oh, look, it's for all US business and creators. So all the key influencer shops, merchandising shops for key influencers and creators, all the small business, large business, not-for-profit, fundraising, none of that stuff is available in Australia yet. So you currently would still want to run maybe a Shopify and then bring that Shopify shop into Facebook. If I'd have been advising someone very briefly on that, not-for-profit, Shopify is not my forte, although I know how to connect them and how to set up categories to put. I'm trying to figure out how to have one Shopify store that delivers different categories to different pages for different audiences. So let's not even go there. So this is interesting. Mark Zuckerberg said a while ago he would not get into marketplace. He was not going to do peer-to-peer. They were not going to go after eBay in any way, which shocked me because Peter Thiel, who is one of the original people who gave funding to Facebook, he's part of the PayPal mafia, and he was playing with Acebucks and Facebucks and their digital currencies before their new Bitcoin style currency. What's it called? Karma? Something? Memory like a sieve these days. Was launched. And it seemed to make sense to me that Facebook as a platform would have its own currency and then would offer that currency through marketplace and would then handle, so it was a digital currency. Now, one of the benefits of a digital currency, all currency is digital these days, a Visa card's worth about 20 cents in plastic, I would imagine. But people disconnect from the money when it's a game currency. So if you're paying $20 for something, that's expensive. But if you put $20 into a digital currency and then you're spending it 10 coins at a time, those coins lose their value after a while. It's like when you buy vouchers or coupons or a book of theatre tickets, you kind of disconnect from how much you actually paid for them originally. Warm sound singing lessons. Would you like me to sing for you, Gary? I don't think so. All right. So back to the shop stuff, because you know me, I ramble more than a little bit. The Instagram shop was launched in July. I really want to know when the international shops are going to launch, because I've got clients asking me at the moment to fix their broken store. It's not broken, it's just not rolled out here. The businesses must have shops and use the Facebook Commerce Manager, which is the shop manager, or partner with Shopify and BigCommerce. So they're the two shops that I was talking about. I personally don't use them. When I say personally, I mean me, Laurel Papworth, just in case you were confusing me with, I don't know, someone else. And the reason why I don't use the shops is because, and I need to keep checking this, they don't like digital products. So because my online courses are digital products, because the Zoom sessions that I sell, to corporate and governments and individuals and things like that are all considered digital, because everything that I have is like a virtual ticketing system. My understanding when I went through the terms and conditions and the way that some of the things that I was doing were getting rejected means that I wasn't getting any love from actually any of the platforms. They just don't like digital products. And then Amazon folded the digital product section of their store. So I was selling digital courses through Amazon and they just turned it off. Don't you just love that? I think the answer is no, we don't. Let's keep moving, because we know about Facebook stores and Instagram. We know they're not launched in Australia yet, so there's seriously no point in, I guess, harping on about it. No, this annoys me. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, with their YouTube channels, they do what I call, they do something that I call social media dumping. And dumping means that they post nothing for months and then they post up 50 videos and you have to choose 1 or 2 to watch instead of doing a content calendar and staggering out the content. So therefore, we get these videos of Facebook, probably great stuff, but even I, whose job it is to sit and watch all these videos and report back to you on them, cannot be bothered watching 50 in a row. It's just super. All right, 50 is an exaggeration, but they often will do, look, 9 days ago, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 1st of August. So from the 20th of August to the 1st of August, there's no content, and then they dump 4 videos, then they dump another 4. I don't understand it. It's almost as though the people who create the content don't understand social media algorithms. What else can we look in here? LinkedIn will do the same normally. 1 on the 28th, 1, 2, 3 on the 21st, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos on the 12th. That could have been staggered over, I guess, I don't know, a couple of weeks, maybe. That's what I would do. Let's have a look at the official LinkedIn blog. Our commitment to safe conversations, getting hired, what you need to know to get hired this week, new tools to stand out with your LinkedIn profile. So a lot of it is what I would call edusocial, and I talked about edusocial yesterday. It's about splitting up your social media marketing. You can have entertainment and fun, your TikTok type of stuff. And then you can have your educational content where you're building communities and helping them, funding them, or funding courses for them and education for them online, and then using that through your channels. And so LinkedIn has a high focus at the moment on new graduates and people looking for work. Looking for work is always there underlying everything that they do, but they only had a 4% growth from March from COVID-19, and it should have been much higher. Much higher. I mean, if there's any platform that's going to help you find work, get more clients during a pandemic, it should be LinkedIn. And this often is a failure of LinkedIn's ability to promote its unique selling point within all the platforms. There is a struggle because LinkedIn is where you go to promote yourself and TikTok's where you go to goof off. And guess which one people like the most? Particularly when everybody's watched everything on Netflix. So now they're talking about their TikTok addiction. But I would say there's quite a lot that LinkedIn could do with their voice. Their voice is edusocial, but it's a little bit... in general, the whole platform's quite patronizing, and the comments are much more virulent. They're right up there with YouTube and Twitter as far as people not being kind to each other. And that's problematic. Let's have a look at a couple more things, then I think we'll finish up. John, who's trying to bury details? Are you talking about LinkedIn burying the detail? Oh, you mean there's... That's a really good point. Social media dumping is something that we do in an emergency. So if there's a lot of trolling, you have an in case of emergency break glass and then you pour out a lot of content. You already have it prepared. And it's, competitions and things that people like playing with. And that is the equivalent of the burying the lead, or how politicians make announcements on Friday night when it's too late to make any reasonable news service, because so I agree, Facebook mass releasing those videos at once, and then you're laughing. So am I. I'll give you an example actually of something like that. Let me just cut back to this one. So Arnotts released a new corporate logo, and a corporate logo in this case means, they don't explain it, but it means an in-house logo. So it's something that they'll use themselves for the group, not for the products. And everybody got upset because they like the original Arnotts. They like the original Arnotts logo, this traditional old one. And I've had to work on social media campaigns to launch new logos. You don't just chuck it out on the public. And we knew that there would be quite a bit of an upset from the alumni, from the old timers, or in social media terms, they're also called elders. They're not influencers, they're elders. They've been in the network as kind of ambassadors and giving out interesting information for a long time. And so we do that in case of emergency break glass, and have a lot of content ready to go when we do a logo relaunch. But we're also ready with all the questions and the answers and everything. Arnotts have confirmed the coronavirus pandemic drove additional sales of 4 million packets of chocolate biscuits, 2 million cans of soups. That would be everybody going into lockdown and survivor mode. Chocolate biscuits, definitely. 2.7 million packs of stock and 1 million more units of V8 juice. And I would say the V8 juice is because it's a vitamin juice. I have a vitamin juice right here, not V8 though, a real one. So the Arnotts Group replaces the previous corporate name for the group, Campbell's Asia Pacific, and it was Campbell's that also had an issue with the relaunch recently. It's really a non-story. This is a classic media beat-up social media got upset, didn't understand. It created buzz, it created discussions. For me, it's equal, good and bad. All press is good press? I don't know. Last couple of things. I don't know. What are we going to do now? So Gary Friedman, sorry I'm making coffee already. Can't wait for you today, but I've got you on in the kitchen. Okay. That's good. It's glad to know that you took me with you into the kitchen. I'm assuming I'm on your phone or your iPad. So we're at the half-hour mark. I don't think anybody wants to see me for more than half an hour. I'm looking at monitors all over the place and fed up with my little face already. What do we have? Tomorrow morning at 8:30 again, I'm doing a social media manager's job search, and I haven't found the jobs yet. I'm just going to look for them online. And I want to say that if I'm the director of social media or director of marketing, what I would be looking for in the incoming person, and I also want to advise social media managers, if they're applying for that job, what kind of questions to ask and any tricky things. And I'm not going to make too much of a deal of those ones that say, hey, you've got to have 15 years experience and you've got to be able to create content and edit videos and write content and do scheduling and understand algorithms and understand analytics and write reports and do this and do this. And it's an intern position for like $10 an hour. Like, we're just going to stay away from them because there's lots of those out there. And, you might as well actually work for free if you're going to do those ones. And why would you, basically. But I am aware that people are desperate for experience. And having sat in on interviews and read resumes over and over again, let's just say that there are some common errors. So we're going to go through some social media jobs tomorrow. If that's not you, you're not a social media manager and you're not looking for more work with clients, or if you're not a corporate looking to hire social media managers and therefore you're not interested in all the different kind of social media manager jobs, there's not one, it's a whole department, then that's probably not for you. So you can skip tomorrow. Next Sunday, I'll do a Sunday social again, which is just me catching up on the news. Wow, I hope Instagram and Facebook launch proper shops in Australia soon. Not necessarily because I want more shops, but because I know that my clients need them. Actually, there is one more thing I just want to show you, little bonus. The relaunch of Facebook, and they've done what Mark Zuckerberg said that they would do, which is they moved pages out of the news feed into a second tab. And I've been checking this. As I'm scrolling through my feeds, the only pages I see are sponsored. And I'm not seeing any shares from any business pages. So I don't want to go into anything that's not public, but it means that you now have to go to pages. And when you go there, you'll see the business pages, and what you should see are any updates. They're the pages that I manage. What else do we have here? Yeah. Well, it's going to be a problem because I'm just not seeing anything at all for pages in my newsfeed currently. And what Mark Zuckerberg said in May last year was that the newsfeed was changing and it would now focus on groups. What's on near me, which is some sort of an algorithm thing that's going to look for events, kind of like Google Local, and friends and groups of interest. So if you identify as liking a particular thing like horse riding, then you'll see more things on that in your newsfeed, but not business page things. Everything in the newsfeed will almost certainly be paid for. So that's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? All right, darlings. I'll see you tomorrow if you're interested in jobs. I'll see you next Sunday if you're interested in social media news. I'm trying to think of something else that I can run during the week. At the moment, around about 8:30 in the morning, I may do a tutorial on some technical aspect of some platform. If you have a question at all, please let me know so I know what I could be doing. And I will see you in the next session. Thank you. I'm going to love you and